Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can work directly with the Cisco AXL API that's available to us in Cisco UCM. This is a powerful provisioning API that's been made available to developers for doing GET requests, making configuration changes, things of those sorts, any type of automation that you're after. We're going to need a few things to make this happen. First thing you're going to need to do is obviously have a CUCM server. And you're going to want to make sure you have the AXL web service enabled on your publisher. And then we're going to also make sure that we have the Cisco AXL toolkit downloaded. So the way I got here is go into the application menu and plugins, hit find, and click this download link right here. And that will give us the WSDL file that we need to upload into a last tool that we'll need, or last thing that we'll need, which is a tool called SOAP UI. So here I just did a quick Google search for SOAP UI, and you can come down here and hit the download link under soapui.org. And what we're after is the open source version. You don't need the pro version for this anyway, unless you just want some of these extra features. I've already got it installed and opened up right here. So once you get it installed, you can pause the video and resume the video right here. But once you get SOAP UI installed, very simple to get that WSDL file uploaded here. We're going to navigate to File, New SOAP Project, and we're going to browse to your Downloads folder, or wherever you downloaded it. And you're going to want to extract that file, and once it's extracted, you can navigate to AXL SQL Toolkit folder, Schema, Current, and this is the file that we're after right there. So go ahead and open that up. And SOAP UI is going to unpack here on the left every API call that the AXL API supports. So you can all the adds are going to be adding configuration changes. So add phone, add trunk. Then you keep scrolling down and you got some gets, and then we have some lists, some removes. You can delete stuff through this as well. So quite a bit that we can do. Just to keep it simple, I think what we're going to focus on in this video are going to be doing a list and a get API call. And the difference between those two real quick is a list, say we wanted to do a list phone. A list phone API call would allow you to put in something like, say you're looking for Jabber devices only. So you could search for devices that start with CSF and then use a wildcard, which is the %sign. And that'll spit back out every Jabber device. A get phone is a little bit different, where it's wanting to know the specific phone that you're after. So let me go ahead and get connected back to my DevNet sandbox, and I can show you what I'm talking about. All right. So now that we're connected, we go back to SOAP UI, and so let's go over here. Let's find list phone, and everything's in alphabetical order. Okay, so we're going to hit this plus icon. That's going to give us request one. They're all going to have request one under them. Okay, so you're going to get this pop-up window right here, and on the left side is going to be our request that we're going to make, and on the right side is where we're going to get a response. So real quick, on the left side, if you've never seen XML before, or you're fairly new to programming, this is an XML based API, and so this is what XML looks like. It's nice and indented for us, and so it helps make it readable for the human eye. There are a few things we're going to need to do. So obviously first, up here at the top, we're going to need to point it to the server that we're talking to. So in my case, it's 10.10.21, and come click this little auth button at the bottom, because we're going to need to authenticate, right, to be able to read and or write values. All right, and you want to make sure that this account has, let's say, at least super user CCM access. All right, and so now that we have that figured out, let's take a look at our request. So you can see here under search criteria, there's an open tag and a closed closing tag for search criteria. And they got these helpful comments in here that say optional. You can search by any of these right here. So name, description, protocol. We're gonna search by name. So go ahead and get rid of those. And let's take the example that we were talking about earlier. Look for all Jabber devices. So I'm going to type in CSF with a % as our wildcard. So that's saying any device that starts with CSF. And we're going to want to get rid of this sequence equals question mark. I'm not sure why that populates there. Same thing for the return tags, but I know it won't work if it's still there. So if anybody out there knows, feel free to comment down below. But so real quick on return tags, this is telling the API everything that you would like to get back about that device. So I'm going to keep it simple, and let's say all we care about in this example is the name and description. So take out everything else. We also want to lastly take out this first and skip, and let's go ahead and hit that. And there you have it. So we got a list of phones. There's a couple in there in the DevNet sandbox. And as you see, we got back the name and the description, just like we asked for within our return tags. So that's a list phone. So let's say that we wanted to do a get phone. So let's take a specific device that we'd like to know about. And so now let's scroll through our list of API calls, and let's take a look at the get phone request. Okay, so open this up, and go ahead and fill out our same info here. And of course you could just copy all this XML and put it in the window back behind me, because the point is it's the type of API call is illustrated right here. But just so we can walk through it again. Okay, so now we have our creds, we have our AXL URL that we're pointed at, and so okay, so now with the get phone, let's go ahead and get rid of the sequence equals question mark again. Same thing for our return tags, clear that all out. Okay, so with a get phone request, here you see this comment right here. You have a choice of the next two items at this level. So that's saying we can either search for a phone by the UUID or the name. We're going to use the name. So we'll get rid of UUID, paste in our device name, and let's go ahead and just keep everything here for return tags for this scenario. Alright, so and here's that phone. Here's the device name, the description, product, everything that we can see in the web interface in Cisco Call Manager, we can see in this API call as well. So there are just a couple of examples of how you can work directly with the AXL API using this tool. It's a very helpful tool. And I personally would rather come in here and use this versus just relying on the AXL schema. I like this because it lists out, it spells out all the available API calls that you can make, and then it will give you helpful comments as well as far as what is actually required and what the data structure looks like in the response that you get back from the API. So where would you go from here? For anybody out there's question, okay, now what? Well, so obviously then the next step would be to write some sort of script, whether that's using Python or your choice of language, to actually automate some things. So just a few ideas that I've been able to do or work with is, getting maybe a list of extensions that are using a specific voicemail pilot, and then you can go out and hit the Unity API as well and write all those values to get the extension details and write all those values to a file. That's a script that I've worked on for Unity migration in the past. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do, but this is just a little bit of a beginner type tutorial about what is the AXL API, what can you do with it, and I hope this has been helpful in getting you started. So thanks for watching.